sir. So it is a privilege to be on the dais with so many eminent dignitaries actually. So the current, the earlier regulators, the current regulator, and also my industry colleagues. So also Dr. Mohanty with a very, I would say, very detailed kind of thing, and he has been known to give a very detailed kind of picture about the sector. In fact, that is, as Negi Sahab very rightly said, that's the point on which we should start. And I have only 2-3 points to add here quickly. The first is very interesting year this could be. This is the year where we will see first time the natural gas consumption by CGD sector crossing the fertilizer sector. In fact, this will be the first time this year, this is the projection actually, that the share of gas in the total consumption, the CGD may be the #1 sector, and then the fertilizer. So far the fertilizer has been leading, but we may be, in next few months, we may see a change like this. The growth is around 10 to 12%. That is what it has been, and it will be in CGD sector. CGD sector today consumes about 43 million gas, which is growing at the rate of, I said, 12%. So actually it is adding about 6 to 7 million gas every year into the kitty, which no other sector can add, unless until there is a greenfield project which gets into like fertilizer or power or anything else, or petrochemicals. And today, actually, we are not seeing any greenfield project happening, at least in power sector, or maybe some fertilizer sectors get converted, fertilizer units will get converted. But otherwise, no new refineries, no new petrochemical plants. And hence, for next 3 to 4 years, we will see, and maybe every 3-4 years, there may be 1 or 2 big units coming up. Maybe that will take about 3-4-5 million gas. But practically, it is the CGD which will constantly add 6 to 8 million gas every year. So the entire growth story, which every report says today, is about the CGD, which is not wrong. In fact, that's very, very correct. That CGD, with so much of networks roll out across the country, that's the only vehicle for the natural gas to grow in the country. So taking from the presentation just now, that and earlier Mr. Kapil also said the same thing, anything between 300 to 380, that's the million, is what the expectation is by 2030. My own feeling, although I may sound a little bit pessimist on this, but my own feeling is that since 2020, the gas has, I would say not 2002. If we see the offtake from 2002 to 2025, we have remained between about 140 million to 185 million. So in last 23 years, or 20 years we can say, roughly we have added 40 million gas. We are planning to add, by the projections, we are saying that in next 5 years, we will add about 150 million gas. So what we have done in the past 20-25 years, we want to do in 5 years. Now this is the, I somehow find a big gap here, being in the gas sector for several years, like all of the panelists here. I find there is a big gap in what can be done, because the only thing which I find, the gas off-takers are only 3, the petrochemicals, refineries, fertilizer, and now the CGD. Power sector, I would not say that they would add any substantial capacities in next 5 years. So these 3 sectors, if 3 sectors we say, by nature, any refinery, petrochemical plant, or a fertilizer plant would take about 3, 4, 5 years to come up. So practically, we are saying that this entire story, growth story, is on CGD, which is adding 6 to 8 million per annum. That means 5 years, 40 million. Be a little bit more optimist, 50 million, maybe a little bit more, 60 at best. From current 190, 195. I don't place it more than 250. And this is my rough calculation on which I work. So in fact, so a lot of times there is a discussion, but just to be on the safer side, I don't want to hazard myself, but this is a forum where I can take this liberty. My feeling is that this number in 2030, if I come in 2030 to such kind of conference, we would be sitting in about 240 to 250. This is the thing. Now, I think what Monty Saab said was correct. All the points listed were all absolutely to the point. And I would say, let us reverse engineer. Rather than questioning whether we will reach 300 or not, we should reverse engineer this and said, what to do to reach 300? I think this is the question which government should ask. And that's where the entire role of a policy comes. Because today, on a very lighter note, if I have to say, what is the policy today? The price will change in January 26. That some report says that from January 26, the price will become a free market. So practically, there is no policy on price today. From January 1, there is no policy on price. Today, initial intent was to give 100% allocation of gas. Today, the policy, the allocation is 30%. The way the growth is in the CGD sector and the APM production, which is falling at the rate of about 2.5% every quarter, and with the kind of growth of about 3 to 4% every quarter on CNG national level, CGD I would say. So then that means every quarter we are shaving off almost 5 to 6% of allocation. So 30% will become about 20% or even lower than 20% by end of this year. So practically policy does not guarantee even volume. So it does not give volume, it does not give volume, it does not give price. I don't know what is this policy. So practically I think the time has come then for this entire reverse engineering to be done, that what to do to get to this 300. And I think some of the points or almost all of the points which Monty Saab has said in his presentation are all leading to that. So unless and until policy states about GST, it states about some ROU policy, it states about something, all the hurdles which are coming in way of 300 million, I think we are not doing justice, and this entire vision to action, this gap will remain. Vision will remain in paper and action will happen whatever market says. Today, actually it is the market which is doing the play. It is not the policy which is doing the play. Because more or less with 30% allocation, CGD companies have almost reconciled to the fact that this is going to be the zero in next about a 12 months time or less than that, or maybe it will be limited to only domestic connections. Now, look at the other part. The only segment, if we agree today, all of us, that the only segment which is growing is the CGD, and that's going to be the flag bearer for next several years in this, which is also going to be the vehicle for taking us to 15% or so. Now, within the CGD, what is growing? The two segments which can be fastest growing and which are visible is the industry and the CNG. Today, CNG is leading. Industry has its own pace of growing, but CNG is easy to grow and hence it is growing. But unfortunately today, and we go to the several review meetings in governments and every place, I think CNG has become almost like to talk about a growth in CNG has almost become like a negative point, unfortunately. So I would say that the segment which is growing, let us allow it to grow. Let's not beat the somebody who is already running a fast race. Let us encourage that segment, bring that the runner to, in fact, encourage them to do more. Parallelly, we can do several other things to grow other sub-segments of the CGD. But I think the first thing is we should have a policy now. Enough time has gone. We should have a policy which should target at, I would say, reverse engineering, that how to reach 300. And other thing is the segment which is growing, let us not discourage that. That segment needs to be encouraged more so that that will take us faster to those 300 targets or something like that. So this is, I would say, these two things on which the government needs to think, because the allocation is with government, pricing with government, taxation with government, taxation on alternate fuels also with government, ROU with state government. I think regulator in that sense has a very limited role as Monty Sabe also said, that yes, it has a facilitation role, but it does not have a development role. So let government take this point seriously at a policy level. Time has come to have a complete fresh look at the policy to see how we reach to 300. This is what I wanted to share. Thank you very much. Thank you.